Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Pater with you today. I'm in the kitchen. We've got everything under the sun going on today, from the farm, from the barn, from the cows to starting to really get into a milk schedule, doing a few school lessons. We've got laundry all caught up. I'm making goulash. I'm about to can strawberry jam, and in the meantime, I'm making my Nana's homemade banana bread. You've never had banana bread until you have what my Nana makes. So I'm going to make it. I'm going to share the recipe straight from her. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be good. But no matter what you do, it never tastes quite like Nana's. But we're going to try, aren't we? So we've got everything under the sun going on in the kitchen. And we're just going to work. So let's get it going. All right, guys, we're going to get started with making the banana bread. We're not going to make this complicated. And I do have the light on, so I'm going to be moving around. And this is a simple bread, guys. You want to have your bananas, which are over here, you want them overly ripened. In fact, that was you want 4 to 5 bananas, and you want them over ripened. In fact, mine were black, okay? The darker, the better, honestly, up until the point of where you just can't stand them. That's what makes really good banana bread. Okay, so into the mixer I just poured in there is 1 stick of butter. Okay, real butter. We don't use any of that other nonsense. We use real butter, so that's half a cup of butter or 1 whole stick, and I did kind of melt it a little bit, and I've put it in here, so it's ready to go. The next thing that I'm going to do is add my sugar. You're going to add about a cup, or as my Nana would say, a cup and a wink, which means she adds a little extra, so you do what you want to do on that, okay? So there's the sugar in there, okay, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cream this, which means you're just going to mix it up. So I'm going to put it into Louise here. Yes, I named my KitchenAid Louise. We're just going to let that cream up a little bit, let it soften, and we'll add the next items. All right, guys, we've got that going, so I'm going to turn it off just real quick. Looking good, looking good. Open it, pull it up here. I'm going to add 2 eggs, no doubt about it. If you've got farm fresh, it's going to be that much better. So we're going to plop 2 fresh cracked farm fresh eggs from this morning right on in there, okay? And we're going to let that start to cream just for a little bit and get it all mixed up, all shook up. I let my youngest child, take a fork and just mash those bananas like crazy. I'm going to add this in, let it mix for a second. We'll be right back. All right, so the next item that you're going to add is an item with several things in here, okay? These are your dry goods, and you know as well as I do that it's going to mix better if you have your wet, like we have over here, mixed up, and then you are going to want to add your dry. But before we do that, critical item must be added. Vanilla. Homemade is best. It is awesome. So I've done up a teaspoon. Have you noticed I say it done up a lot? I know. I didn't know that until I started making videos. I done up a big old thing here of vanilla. Actually, it's just a teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of homemade vanilla or whatever you've got, okay? Just go with the flow. We're going to let that bad boy mix up in there. So that is mixing. So while all these things are mixing, you need to put your dry goods together on the side. So we're getting to that next. Alrighty, so as I was saying, your dry goods. 2 cups plain flour, okay? 2 cups plain flour in here. Then I've added 1 teaspoon of soda and a half a teaspoon of baking powder, okay? I know that sounds a little odd, but that's what she does. So I put that in there, and I have mixed. If you want to sift it, it's probably better. Let's not lie, sifting is really cool, and it makes everything that much better. But y'all, I'm slamming this together, and I'm giving you the recipe. You do as you wish. So we're going to add this, and you know I'm going to make a mess. In here, I would add maybe half. I've gotten prone to add a third or half of whatever, and then mix it a little bit. Let that get started and mix really well. You may need to scrape down the sides just a hair, whatever you feel you need to do. And then we're going to add the next portion and let it finish up. Now remember, you can also add to this recipe. Be creative. If you want to add some pecans or walnuts or, chocolate chips, hey, whatever you feel like. White chocolate chips, whatever. But we're going to go plain Jane today because I know that's what my youngest baby likes. So that's what we're going to be making here. All right, so we've got this mixed. We're going to add the rest, mix it up, and we're going to start getting ready to pop it in the oven. Don't forget that you need to make sure your oven is at 350. All right, guys, so I'm going to bake the banana bread in my Lodge cast iron bread loaf pan. I think it's around a 10 by 5. It's 10 by the length. It's actually going to be shorter, obviously, in here on your bread, but nonetheless, that's the size of it. But this is the cast iron, so it's obviously clean. I have oiled it up, greased it up. I like to use sunflower oil. I use organic. This is what Miss Homestead Lady likes to use with all of her bread. She's very big into sunflower oil, so she's got me into it. So I greased this bad boy up, and I put a little parchment paper on the bottom just to help myself out. So we're going to put this blend over in here. We're going to bake it at 350 for around 30 minutes. You're going to have to eyeball it, okay, guys? Everybody's a little bit different. Pans are a little bit different. Ovens and stoves are a little bit different. And your elevation is a little bit different. So eyeball it. Basically, you want to cook it and test it with a toothpick. That's what Nana always does. So let's get started. All right, guys, so I baked it at 350. I will tell you I had to go a little bit longer, which is not a surprise because I'm at a much higher elevation than my Nana. So when she tells you 30 minutes, it could very likely be 35 or 40. So just eyeball it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I have whipped up on the side right here a little bit of powdered sugar and milk. My papaw, bless his heart, this was his favorite thing. Anytime my Nana would make a cake, plain chocolate cake or banana bread or anything like that, he would say, hey, make my icing. So the family calls this not royal icing because it's not water and powdered sugar, it's milk. So we call it Papaw's icing. So I've whipped up a little bit of that just real finely. I have poked holes all throughout the bread, okay? Not only to check, to make sure that it's done, but also so that this can go right on in. You can hear it hitting that right there. So we'll let this just sort of seep in, kind of glaze it, spill it over, whatever. Let it sit for a few minutes and we'll take it out. Just produces this nice glaze on it. And it's hot because it's in cast iron. All right, guys, there she is. She popped right on out of the cast iron loaf pan with no problem whatsoever. So we're going to let her cool a little bit more, and then we'll slice her and enjoy her. I like to put cream cheese in between my slices of banana bread. I think that is delicious. And with a cup of coffee, you can't go wrong. We appreciate y'all watching here at Appalachia's Homestead. Be sure to try this out. Nana would surely get a kick out of it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like what you see. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I can't wait for this. Y'all take care out there.